SBL is really different to the earlier ACCA exams. Really different. And it requires a different study approach. And in this session, we're going to explore some of those differences so that you're ready for them, so that you can better prepare for the SBL exam. So, Andrew, what's a big difference for you about SBL?
The first notable difference, and some students love this, some students hate it, is the fact this exam isn't technical. So having loads of theoretical knowledge, knowing all of those technical theories just isn't really going to help. Do you know what? Actually, it can be detrimental. Knowing too much theory can harm you. So there was a really good example in a recent exam in the examiner report. So there was a question and it had like the company's product portfolio, like what they were offering, and it talked about their market share, their market growth for all their different products. And the examiner said loads of students saw that and thought, I learned all about BCG, the Boston Consulting Group matrix, last week. And they recited a load of information about BCG, the history of BCG, what it's about, and how it's used, all this, and then didn't apply it. And they even gave them market share percentages, market growth percentages. Loads of students ignored those in the exam and just recited a load of theory. So it's not technical in that sense. It's all about application. It's all about reacting to the information and giving answers specific to the company in question and not just reciting a load of information.
And that is different because in lower level ACCA exams, you will get marks for definitions.
Yep, exactly.
And almost what you described there is giving a definition of a model, that BCG matrix.
Yep.
But that earns you nothing at this level. You've got to go straight into applying your knowledge.
You really have. And the examiner report, every time, I can guarantee the examiner report will say students weren't applying their knowledge properly. It will say application was lacking from a lot of students. So that's the number one difference. This is not about memorizing. This is about applying your knowledge.
Yeah. So you do need knowledge because you have to apply it to the scenario. So you needed to know in that question what that matrix is, that particular model. But you're not going to get any marks for describing the model. You've just got to use it to add value in your answer.
Exactly. But even if you didn't use it, even if you generally talked about, the market share's gone up, market growth is low for this, and didn't even mention BCG, that'd be fine. That'd be better than absolutely reciting the BCG. So, a little bit of knowledge, obviously will help, but you don't need loads of detail. And the syllabus is huge, isn't it? We've seen, some of the textbooks are like
it's enormous. So the textbook is huge for SBL. It is intimidatingly enormous. And it's so odd to go, we've got this massive textbook, but actually we're not going to give you very many marks or no marks at all for showing that you've learnt it.
Yeah.
The technical knowledge isn't what this exam is about. So that's one big difference. The technical knowledge side is not a knowledge exam.
Absolutely.
Another one is about calculations. That's what students often come to me as. They can't believe that this is one of their final tests as an ACCA exam. Where are the numbers?
Yeah, well, there aren't really any in SBL. This is all about discussion. It's about business strategy. It's about presenting you with ideas and then you discussing them. So this isn't an exam where you're going to be able to just do a few calculations or work through a template of numbers. It's not about that. It is about the theory. And again, some students love that. Some students don't like it at all, but it's something you've got to prepare for. Doing it, it's not going to be numbers based.
Yeah. And for a lot of the earlier ACCA exams, students rely on the marks they're earning with this.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, that's what gets them through.
Yeah. So writing style and being able to write concisely and in a really good way is crucial in this exam. And again, that's something that's I'd say this exam's, we're talking about why it's different. This is more about skills, isn't it, than it is knowledge. This is about being able to write properly, being able to process information properly, being able to get across your points clearly and concisely. It's about those skills, and that's why this exam is so different. It is a very different beast.
Okay, so we've got technical knowledge isn't where it's at. There aren't really any calculations.
Yeah.
The thing that makes it that it does have that's really different is the pre-seen information. You get given this document 2 weeks before the exam to give you some background and context about the industry that your exam is going to be based on. What sort of industries do we normally see, Andrew?
We've seen some great ones. I mean, we've worked together on a few, haven't we? And there've been some really fun ones over the years in SBL that they've brought out. So there's been a real passion of mine, football. So there was the football club one, which was a good one. Another passion is food. It's like ACCA follow what I enjoy. There was the food with the delivery boxes. which is something that you knew all about, which is
Yeah.
great. So we've
Yeah, we had
seen
some fun with that one, didn't we? So
was
we
good. It
got
was-
to do like when we were producing our resources for that exam, like we were messing about with actual food boxes, weren't we?
Yeah,
And
with it,
putting
yeah.
them together.
Yeah, we always get into it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
So and there's been that one on an Uber. There's been one on like an airline. So
Yeah.
they're all very relatable. They're not. Yeah, they haven't done an industry that people go, sorry, what is this? Like I've never even heard of this. Like
Yeah.
this is really niche.
Yeah,
these
they
are
try
all-
and pick something that's mainstream that people will know quite a lot about
Yeah,
already,
yeah,
most people. And if
Most
you
people.
haven't heard of it before, let's say you're in a country where food box deliveries don't exist. You know,
Yeah.
in the UK, it's quite a common thing now.
Mhm. Yeah.
In some countries, it just isn't a thing at all.
Yeah.
So they'll give you everything you really need to know in that document.
Yeah.
You don't have to do loads of wider research.
You
So
don't, no.
that document, it allows you to kind of get into the feel and get into the theme of the exam before exam day, and you can do quite a lot of pre-prep on that document that helps you to get ready for the exam.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to see it. Is it's there to help you get ready for the exam. It isn't a crucial resource in the exam, which is where students often make a mistake. And again, we say SBL is different. This is the only exam that's got this pre-seen information, and people think, great, I've got 2 weeks now to obsess over this document. And again, examiner reports say students often are just copying and pasting big chunks out of that pre-seen, or they're focusing too much on that stuff. Where it's not about that. It's about applying things to the question and the scenario you're given in the exam and everything else. So they do have to be careful with that pre-seen.
Yeah.
But it's good to get into it, and like we do, we get a bit passionate about the industry, and you get to know a bit about it, and you can make relevant points then, which does help.
Definitely. And the better you know it, the more you can draw on some relevant things out of it.
Yeah.
It is useful to add depth and context into your actual exam answer.
It
But
is, yeah.
What it isn't useful for, and what a lot of students try to do with it, it is not useful for going, this is what the exam question is going to be.
Yeah.
And therefore, I can pre-learn an exam question. Clearly, based on what I've been told about this company, then the exam question is definitely going to be this.
Yeah.
Because the pre-seen information has so many little crumbs, so many little starting points that, they could go there with the exam. They could go there. There are so many directions it could go in based on the pre-seen document is very open.
Yes.
It's very wide and can go in lots of different directions.
That said, if they're talking in there about the fact that they've got a website and there's recently been a cyber attack in their country, you'd be a fool not to then just quickly remember or remind yourself a little bit around cyber security and those sorts of areas. So it gives you maybe a few pointers as right.
But having an idea about that and kind of reading up on some models around cybersecurity, a little bit helpful. But actually, to answer an exam question, it depends on what you're told in the exam about the details of that actual incident.
It could be anything. It could be anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best way to prepare for this exam is, and again, very different from other exams, is more to be quite open-minded and really focus on those skills and get your technique right. That's crucial, isn't it? Your technique in this one is more important than your knowledge, which is, in other exams, it's a bit of both. Whereas with this, your technique definitely outweighs your knowledge. And if you get your technique right, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So it's a different exam. It requires a different study approach. Now, that's what this recording has focused on, how the exam is a bit different. We're going to be releasing a lot of other recordings in this series that are going to focus on different elements of SBL, advice on how to best prepare for the exam to help you to have the best possible chance of passing. So subscribe to us so that you get notified when all of those other lovely, useful resources are released.